My name is Brandon. I'm the son of Alan and Jackie Carmody, and we appreciate you coming today to help us honor our mom's life. The theme for my story today is that Mom is the hero of my story. My mom was my lifelong hero. She's a superhero of a mom. And although I've had a lot of time to think about this and time to plan for this big day, it is just so hard to come up with a few words or a few minutes worth that will really summarize the thoughts, the memories, and the experiences that I had. I had 43 years on this earth and in this lifetime with my mom. So I'll share a few stories with you today, but I think that our official obituary that we wrote as a family is a great description of Mom's life. So I'd like to share that with you, and the family would really like to encourage you to go online and add your thoughts and memories to Mom's official online obituary. We would appreciate that, and thank you to everyone who has written comments. Thank you for your love and your grace. Jacqueline Ruth Carmody, September 24th, 1951 to May 3rd, 2020, passed away May 3rd, 2020. She is finally at peace and will spend all of eternity in heaven. Born September 24th, 1951 in Renton, Washington to Jack and Ruth Baxter, she graduated from Glacier High School in Seattle, and she worked for Blue Cross Blue Shield. In 1975, she married Alan Buddy Carmody. They met at sophomore orientation, or so they thought, but after 10 years of marriage, they discovered that they were sitting next to each other in a photo of their vacation Bible school class at the age of 5, and we have that picture. She met her future husband at Vacation Bible School. For their honeymoon, they drove around the country through 23 states, visiting friends and relatives in Kentucky, Virginia, and Montana. After 1 year in Seattle, they set off on their adventure and lived in Glendale, Oregon, Roseburg, Oregon, Linwood, Edmonds. Then we moved here to Milwaukee, Oregon, Portland, Aloha, Beaverton, and Gresham. It's a lot of moving. Alan and Jackie are members of Beaverton Christian Church. Jackie was preceded in death by her parents and her sister, Barbara Stewart. She is survived by her husband, Alan Carmody, son, Brandon Carmody, daughter, Erin Lakin, and her husband, Paul, son, Ryan Carmody, and his wife, Ashley, daughter, Alana Carmody, and her fiance, Jeffrey Sargent. 6 awesome grandchildren and a large extended family. We did hold a memorial, a graveside funeral at Skyline Memorial, which is her final resting place, and I want to thank them for their grace and their dignity in helping us bring Mom to a final resting place. When I think about Mom, I think about moments like this. My first job when I was 12 years old was a job as a newspaper delivery boy for the Everett Herald. Now, if there was ever a morning where I slept in or there was bad weather, I often woke up to Mom in my room waking me up, loading newspapers into the station wagon, and her driving me around. Now, I had a surprisingly large route, a surprisingly large region of our entire neighborhood that I had to cover when I was 12, so Mom often stepped in and was my hero. She was the secret newspaper delivery boy. But thank you for that, Mom. You'll probably hear a lot today about school projects. Well, there was a specific school project that I had in either the 4th or the 5th grade, where of course I had put the whole thing off until the night before. When Mom came down to the wee hours of the night, she was activated. She became super Mom. This is it. Jack Bauer, the clock is ticking. Dun-dun, dun-dun. And Mom, I think that I had some involvement in the project, but I mostly remember her going into that super Mom mode. But my project was to make the solar system, and although I don't have a picture of it, here's what I think the finished product was. I think it was done inside of a shoebox, and all of the planets were marbles that were hanging from suspended fishing line inside of the shoebox, and the sun was inserted into the side as a flashlight, so that when the flashlight was turned on, that was the sun. And I will never forget the reaction of when the teacher looked through the box and saw the solar system inside the project and was just wowed. A 4th grader made this project. That's an amazing 4th grade project. Thank you, Mom. She may have also helped with 5th and 6th and 7th and 8th grade projects. There was a period of time where the family lived in a motel called Rose Manor, and I worked at the front desk at Rose Manor Motel. So one of the things that Mom would do while I was on duty at Rose Manor, she would drive all the way to the other end of Selwood to go to the Jack in the Box drive-thru to get me food and burgers and bring them to me on duty. Austria. My note says, Mom's brave decision to send me to Austria despite the consequences to the family home, her ultimate sacrifice of love. Mom on TV. Somewhere in 1985 or 1986, Mom and her best friend Shelley appeared on Northwest Afternoon, which was Seattle's version of AM Northwest. Mom was a live in-studio guest, but they had footage of her and her friend Shelley going on a shopping spree through Fred Meyer's. Now, to the best of my recollection, they filled up their shopping carts with almost $200 worth of groceries. Now, when they got to the checkout line, now, this is on television. This was on television. This was crazy watching it as a kid, just kind of like trying to look, not look. They both pulled out plastic boxes of double coupons, which they presented to the cashier. And then the way it was filmed, the way it was framed up, the announcer and the voiceover, the total after all of the double coupons came out to $11.90 back. And then the camera shows the cashier literally taking money out of the till and handing Mom and Shelley back money. So they went through Fred Meyer's with $200 worth of groceries, and their 1980s brilliant double coupon strategy paid for it. That was her ingenuity. That was her craftiness. That was her cleverness. And my understanding is that double couponing may not be a thing anymore. But if they were to go back and do a 1980s study, our mom was the test subject. She was like the ground zero of double couponing, and she had her moment on television for it. Last year, I made the decision to return to music after a few years off, and I discussed the plan with Mom, who was already living in a nursing home at that time. I had Mom's full approval and her blessing and her love, and I went through a long process of acquiring musical gear and getting ready to come back out and get back on board with music, and her support and her love were greatly appreciated. And then I found out a few months before she passed that Mom had personally requested that I play and perform the final farewell at her funeral. So later today, at the end of the service, I have a performance of the final farewell and a special prayer from Pastor Mike Cross. So that's coming up. But I just want to thank Mom for all of the support and assisting with my aspirations for getting into music through my lifetime, whether that be early keyboards, going to choir concerts, and the Austria trip that we went to my senior year. Mom was a lifelong supporter of my music, and that meant everything. That counts for a lot. Thank you. Always appreciated was that as I discovered Star Trek, first it was in reruns on TV, and then when Star Trek: The Next Generation debuted on television in 1987, Mom saw and recognized that I was starting to really become a Trekkie and get really engaged by that experience. And so I want to show you right now a photo from my birthday party in either 1987 or 1988. Take a close look at this picture. The Enterprise D is on my birthday cake, and I have VHS copies of Star Trek II and Star Trek III, and I'm just beaming and grinning from ear to ear. But the real pride and joy came during the first season of Star Trek: The Next Generation, when Mom took Aaron and I to a Star Trek convention to meet Marina Sirtis, aka Counselor Deanna Troi. Now, this was our first Star Trek convention. It was 1988, pre-internet. We had no idea what to expect, but generally, it was a large gathering in a Hilton, and we went through the whole experience. And then it came time to wait in line for our autograph. It's a long line. Now, basically, when we got to the front of the line, it was great. We got a quick autograph from Marina Sirtis, but we were supposed to get our picture taken. I'm not exactly sure how it happened, but somehow we got walked through or pushed through, and we're just kind of like, eh. And then the next set of fans is getting their autograph and their picture taken. No. Mom was not going to let that settle. She was determined to get our picture with Marina Sirtis. So in the first photo, she had me sort of sneak in next to Counselor Troi and get in up close. And I hate to spoil this here, but the actual photo being taken is with fans that are on Marina Sirtis' right, and I'm on the left. So all you had to do was just turn your camera there. It's all about perception. And then we did another photo with Erin, and she's totally looking away. So sometimes you win and sometimes you don't. But thank you for taking us to that convention, because 32 years on later, that's a precious memory for me to meet someone, that was literally on my screen, was on this legendary Star Trek show, and then there in person. That's an irreplaceable memory. And thank you for the photograph, Mom, and your brilliant strategery. Speaking of Star Trek, we have a clip. I did an interview with Mom for Star Trek's 50th anniversary in 2016 This is a great moment. You're going to hear from Mom herself. Let's show you the clip. So, do you have any Star Trek memories yourself, or?
Only I don't know if I ever told you that I snuck off to a Star Trek convention by myself and I left you guys home.
What?
I was down here in Portland.
You're kidding me. When?
No. Well, when? It was their 25th anniversary.
Okay.
Because Shelley's husband was into Star Trek too, and so I thought for his 50th birthday I would buy him a t-shirt.
Okay.
And so I went to the convention, but I got out there and it started snowing.
Oh no.
And along Sandy Boulevard there, where the wind blows down the river, it gets really icy, and I got out there on black ice with like little pieces of styrofoam at me, and by the time I got down to Powell coming back home, it was terrible, and Dad said, "You're not going to be able to get up our hill to the house."
Jeez.
The way it was.
Was it a convention that had any stars or guest speaker? Or
I
just
think
kind of...
so, but I just went in. I didn't pay to go into the convention. I just stayed in the outer corridor where they were selling all of their merchandise.
Well, you noticed. So we got some silent films developed for this family photo project we've been working on. And lo and behold, on the silent film was actual footage of Mom giving baby Brandon his first haircut in March 1978. So I want to show you the footage right now. First of all, notice that Mom has the long flowing hair down to her knees. This was the first stage. This was the late 70s, early 80s version of Mom that we knew before the chop, before the haircut. But when I first came into this world and when I first came to know Mom, long hair down to her knees, and just look at it in this photo. And look at this. She did a very good job of doing the haircut. I think later she got very creative. If you remember in the 1980s, the bowl cuts where people would actually put the bowl and you kind of cut around, she was great at that. But I think it wasn't until when I was actually more like in grade school that I actually started going to barbers. Mom was my first barber. It's pretty good. In 2004, when it came time for me to get married, Mom proved to be the hero yet again, getting fully involved with wedding planning up until the day before, Mom taking me and my then fiance on a 6-hour shopping spree, going from Goodwill to Goodwill, piecemealing every single piece of the tuxedos, flowers. She had covered it A to Z, and she worked so hard that even up until the last minute when the actual service started, she was still planning and preparing. I think she missed the actual service because she was still running tasks and everything. So God love her, though, because a day like that is so special and so important. And the fact that she brought it together with love and support and brought the details together, that was Mom. That was our mom. One of the things that I'm most thankful right now is that in the last few months of Mom's life, that all of us went to spend so much time with her and to talk with Mom and to be there. Anything that I ever wanted to say or ask or bring closure to, I had those conversations and I had those amazing moments with Mom in the last few months. And I think that that's part of what is helping to bring this difficult process to a place of closure for me, is that we have this understanding and this mutual love and respect by having those conversations, and everything comes full circle. What I said at the very beginning, that Mom has been the hero of my lifetime, the hero of my story. She proved and bore out to be that hero up until the end. And I just want to thank you for that, Mom, for your continuous love, for your continuous support, for everything that you ever did, from teaching me to survive, from keeping us with a roof over our heads, food in our bellies, clothes on our back, and keeping us warm. You are our lifelong hero. The type of love that you brought to the table as a mother is that unspoken love that can only be shown and seen if you're there. And so I just want to thank you for your sacrifices and for that immeasurable love. And for you as a Christian woman, we know that you're in heaven now with our Father. And so I'm just going to close this segment in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, be with Jackie today. Help our mom find an eternal rest in the fact that she is no longer in pain, that the woes of this world and the troubles of this land no longer constrain her to this place, but that she can rest eternal, but most importantly, to be with her loved ones, to be with her mom and her dad and her sister, and to be at your side forever. We also want to send the message how much we miss her and we love her, and that when our time comes, Mom, we will see you again. We love you forever and eternal. May you rest in peace. Amen.